And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before we do get into today's video, as always, make sure you do drop a like on today's video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. So I hope you guys are all okay. We've got a lot to go through in today's video, a lot of things to discuss. As you can tell by the title, Celtic are set for a giant windfall after a winter transfer green light. Now, this is massive, massive news, and this will help the club even more so financially, which is awesome to see. So before I do get into that main story, I want to go over a bit more from the other night there where we beat Slovan Bratislava 5-1. What an incredible night it was. Our first European opening day win in 13 attempts. So a very good achievement. The team were superb throughout. Of course, we were the favourites, but I think we succeeded expectations going into that match and did a lot better. And even though the goal we conceded was very, very lucky, it was a good strike by them, but defensively we were superb throughout the game as well. And a lot of players have put posts on social media before and after the game, expressing their support for the Celtic fans, how great the atmosphere was, how great the occasion was, the night itself, how much they enjoyed themselves. And one player who came through the ranks of massive European clubs is Nicholas Kuhn. He came through the ranks, of course, of the likes of Bayern Munich and Ajax, and had a stint with RB Leipzig as well, who will be welcome to Celtic Park at some point in this Champions League campaign. And he's always been expected to play in this kind of level of football in the Champions League, and he's finally achieved that dream of his. And he spoke on his Instagram and put a little post up thanking the Celtic support and the club itself. So he said, "It was unbelievable. The atmosphere was crazy. I think it was one of the best nights I've experienced in football. It was amazing. Every little boy is dreaming of playing the Champions League. It was a long journey, and finally arriving at such a stadium was unreal. A lot of friends were here and my girlfriend. I think they were crying. It was more than I expected. After the anthem, it was so loud. It was amazing. Everyone said there are special nights, and now I can say I've played in a game here. When I was on a year loan from Bayern, I said in the second league in Germany, the goal is the Champions League, and one day, hopefully, national team. I was 2020-21 season. That was my goal, and I didn't care what other people said. It's what I believe I can achieve, and that was my feeling. It was a goal for a long time, so yeah, the first 20 minutes was just a little bit overwhelmed from the crowd and everything, but it was fine. So it was kind of translated a bit poorly there, but you get the message that he's very, very happy to make his, he's very happy to play in the Champions League for Celtic, and he had a great performance as well. I think he was one of the standout players in that match. I mentioned it in the previous video where we spoke about the game. I thought he was superb. Of course, he got an assist on the night, but he could have got a lot more if his teammates could finish. That game could have been 8-1, 9-1. It was insane. We were so good. We were all over them, and I think Nicholas Kuhn was one of the key players in that match. He's just so direct on that right-hand side, driving at the defence, putting balls into the box. And as I said, if the Celtic teammates could finish more chances, he would have got more assists and we would have got more goals. But let's not take away how good he was and how good the overall team performance was on that night. It was superb. So, he had a tough start last season to his Celtic career, but he's definitely pushing on now, which is great to see. And I think we spoke about it in the transfer window. We wanted another right winger. Then it kind of come towards the end of the transfer window. There wasn't really any options for us to go after in that position. And Nicholas Kuhn had a great start to the season. We thought, let's back until January and let's see where we're at in that by the transfer window in January, and see if we need to recruit in that area. And I feel like he's had a great start to the season. I think he's going to get better and better. Of course, this man did play for Ajax Academy, the Bayern Munich Academy. This guy had a high ceiling from a very young age. Hasn't quite worked out for him, but I think Celtic's the perfect club for him to grow and become that player that people once expected him to be. So looking forward to seeing what he can achieve this season with the boys. But a great start to his campaign, both domestically and in Europe. So yeah, very, very happy with him so far. Now let's get into a former Celtic player that could generate us some money. So Celtic could be in line for a significant financial windfall this winter if a potential transfer involving former player Jeremy Fring goes through. So according to reports from Foot Mercato, Chelsea and PSG are interested in the Netherlands international, who's currently at Bayer Leverkusen. So with Chelsea reportedly considering a £50 million bid, Celtic stands to gain 30% of the profit from the transfer fee, due to a sell-on clause from when they sold Fring to Leverkusen. This arrangement could net Celtic around £11 million. Celtic have already posted their accounts, which shows that the club already have £77 million in the bank. and are in a great place on the pitch too. The club are set to make some good money this season also, with the Champions League format revamped and having already picked up a win, which banks some extra cash. It's a good time to be a Celtic fan, of course. I mentioned this in the past few videos. We had a great start to the season domestically, top of the table. Of course, Aberdeen are doing really well as well, but we'll get into that another day. But Champions League, it's a great start as well. And if we can get £11 million from a sale that we made a few years ago, that's even better. That's a lot of money. When it comes to Chelsea, I don't see why they'd be signing Jeremy Fring. They got a couple of right backs in their side already, but again, their transfer business doesn't make much sense, does it really? Let's be honest. PSG could be a good option for him as well. They'll pay the money for him, I'm sure. But yeah, I do think Jeremy Frimpong, he will leave the club at some point. He's had a great career since he left Celtic. Of course, we've seen the promise in him when he was at the club, but he's just gone on to the next level. And of course, won the Bundesliga last season, got to Europa League final, won the cup as well. So he had a great campaign overall, as did Bayer Leverkusen. And he's definitely worth £50 million. And if we can receive £11 million of that, then that's a great little bit of windfall for us. But of course, this transfer rumour's been going on. We spoke about this transfer situation for the last year now, I think. We've been expecting him to leave the club at some point. It's never really happened. But Bayer Leverkusen have green-lighted this transfer because, of course, they need to sell some players. Their director of football has said that before. The owner has said that before, that they need to sell certain players to balance the books. And Frimpong could be one of the players that is allowed to leave. And £50 million is a lot of money, of course. And if we can get £11 million, that's great for us. And that can go straight into our new transfer blueprint that we spoke about the other day there, where we are looking to get players that have high promise and are playing a lot of football in top European leagues, like with Arnie Engels, who go for around £10 to £15 million. So that money could be put towards that type of transfer business in the future. So yeah, very, very exciting times right now to be a Celtic fan. Everything's looking up. Of course, football can change like that, but right as things stand right now, the transfers that have come into the club look great. Players that come in last season, for example, Kun looked great as well. Engels doing brilliant. Schmeichel having a great start. He's gassed as well. He spoke about it on Instagram earlier. He's still happy with the result on Wednesday. He's loving life at Celtic so far. After 8 years without being in the Champions League, he's back finally in the top competition. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts as a whole. Of course, we are playing tomorrow in the Cup, so let me know your score predictions for that game. I didn't really discuss it too much, of course, because we are expected to win, but we might see some rotation tomorrow. Maybe some of the other players that we've not seen so much of start tomorrow. Val, Trusty, example, could start the match tomorrow. Give Scales and Taylor a rest. Other players in other positions as well, of course, could start. Palmer could come back in. Stuff like that. But yeah, put your score predictions down below for that match. And yeah, thank you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.